hot cheerleaders, underage drinking, inappropriate teacher-student relationships, and oh yeah, a couple people die too.
Good.
Also known as Secret Diary of a Cheerleader, this is 2023's My Diary of Lies. I'm Jay Harangue and I've wasted hours of my life watching terrible films.
You should subscribe.
So this one was recommended to me by the star of Deadly Dance Competition and the shoplifting pact, Brooke Maroon, who not only features in this movie, but also in the dance montage at the end of all my videos.
Wow, that's big.
Yes.
If you're watching, hi.
Hi.
Now, if you're thinking that now that I know people in these films are watching these videos, that I'm going to stop being unnecessarily mean and nasty to the actors in them, you are wrong.
Good.
So we start at this party and this girl Cassie's off her Everyone thinks it's really funny and films her falling over, but oh no, she's dead. At an unspecified time later, we meet Natalie. She's the main character. And today it's her first day at Hartman High School. At her last school, she was the captain of the cheerleading squad, so she'll be going to tryouts later, as someone needs to replace dead Cassie. Now, I'm no expert on cheerleading, but I've covered a lot of cheerleading movies, and I have to say the standard in this film is much higher than a lot of the others. It looks like they've hired a few professional dancers for this, something they probably should have done in webcam cheerleaders, the wrong cheer captain, the wrong cheerleader coach, and cheer camp killer. Anyway, before school, Natalie goes to meet Mr. Monroe, the guidance counsellor. I'm not sure what the purpose of this meeting is, but Mr. Monroe starts telling her what happens in the school play that she's not in.
It's about the origin of Peter Pan. Peter's actually this villain who takes...
Boring. Anyway, it seems like in this film, anytime a student talks to a teacher, there's some sort of sexual tension. But more on that later. When she leaves, he gives her a leaflet about drugs. So when Natalie gets home, she starts bollocking her mum.
You told Hartman I have a drug problem?
She's like, yeah, because you got suspended for drugs at your last school. It's on your permanent record. And Natalie's like, oh, yeah. Okay, so Natalie has this diary that she's always writing in. Tonight she writes that she's worried she won't make the cheerleading team because she's seen a video of them on YouTube and they look pretty good. Natalie clearly enjoyed watching that video. I hope she therefore helps the channel out by pressing the like button and subscribing if she hasn't already.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Then she clicks on a linked video, and it's of that girl Cassie dying. I'm stunned this hasn't violated YouTube's terms of service, considering how many of my videos get blocked or demonetized, but we'll ignore that. The next day, we're in chemistry class with Mr. Rexford. It's here we meet Jake, who's dating Madison, the cheer captain, and this girl Gina, who's so obviously not 17, it's ridiculous.
It is.
Gina will be trying out for the cheer squad too, and here we are at the tryouts. This is Madison, the captain, Viv, the co-captain, and you don't need to know anyone else's name. And off we go. Natalie's looking pretty good, but she could have some competition in the form of Gina. I'm pretty certain who's not getting in, however. This person here, who invited The Undertaker.
Stop it.
I can only assume that it's a cameraman's daughter, because she's absolutely useless.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, Natalie's nailed it, and Madison comes over and tells her she was born to cheer for Hartman. But when she walks off, Viv's like, don't get carried away, Natalie. I'm voting for The Undertaker. Either way, Gina's missed out. Back at home, Natalie's mum's asking how school went.
Are there any cute boys?
My ridiculously hot chemistry teacher.
Natalie.
You asked?
The next day, Mr. Rexford tells Natalie that she aced the chemistry test yesterday. Yeah, safe to say Natalie's pretty keen on chemistry. Later, Natalie walks past the cheer squad, who move in slow motion and a V formation. Madison whispers in Natalie's ear that she's made the team, so she goes for a celebratory shit, but it seems like a bit of a struggle.
Push it real good.
When she comes out, Gina's like, are you all right? And she's like, I am now. Gina's like, I heard you made the team. And Natalie's like, yeah, but I still want to hang around with you.
Maybe we can do a coffee Sunday? I'll be there.
Time to update Natalie's diary. She writes that she's made the team, really likes Madison, thinks Viv's a knob, and wants to bang Mr. Rexford.
I know it's wrong, but I can't control my thoughts, can I?
Not at all.
On her way out of school, Natalie is confronted by dead Cassie's mum.
They killed her. And you're next. I'm warning you.
How does Cassie's mum know who Natalie is? No idea. That's assuming she does. Maybe she's just hanging around the school shouting at random students. Anyway, there's a party at Madison's house tonight. Madison lives in a big house with a pool and a hot tub, and her parents are never around. She's like, right, everyone take a Fabulous.
Come again?
A Fabulous is a pill. I can't work out what sort of pill it's supposed to be, because the effects seem to vary depending on what the plot requires.
Yep.
But Natalie doesn't want to take one. Viv's like, do it, do it, do it, do it.
Do it, do it, do it, do it.
So she does it.
Good?
After some drinking and dancing, Jake's turned up with more beers. Yeah. Madison gives him a fabulous and takes him to her room. Natalie's jealous because she wants to shag Jake, as well as Mr. Rexford. Then Viv takes Natalie around the corner and she's like, let's do 2 more fabulous each. And Natalie's like, okay. But Viv's only pretended to take more. And what's this? Gina is spying on the party. Later, Natalie is in an absolute state and Jake finds her in the bathroom. He takes her to the guest room to lie down. She tries to kiss him, but he's like, no, sorry, I'm with Madison. But it's okay, I won't tell anyone you went for it. When Natalie re-emerges, she sees Viv arguing with a mystery man, who's clearly Mr. Rexford in a baseball hat, but for plot purposes, he's a mystery man. Later, we see Viv walking around alone by the pool when... So she's dead. The next morning, Natalie wakes up at home having missed her coffee with Gina. Then she gets a load of messages telling her that Viv was found dead in the pool on Monday morning.
They think she just fell in.
They say it was an accidental drowning.
She must have been totally wasted.
Yeah, must have been. Later, Natalie writes in her diary that she remembers seeing Viv arguing with a mystery man, but has no idea who he was.
Oh, come on.
But then after chemistry class, the only class these kids seem to have, by the way, she sees a baseball hat, so that's mystery solved. At cheer practice, it's announced that Natalie will replace Viv as co-captain. Despite the circumstances surrounding this, Natalie just can't contain her joy. When everyone leaves, Gina comes over and she's like, now you're co-captain, you can get me on the team to replace Viv. And she's like, I tried, but they said no. And Gina's like, whatever, Natalie. Natalie goes for a meeting with Mr. Monroe and he's crying his eyes out about Viv. Natalie asks Madison why he'd be this upset.
Let's just say he and Viv were close.
Plot thickens.
Back at home, Natalie's mum suggests moving schools again, as cheerleaders are dropping like flies. But Natalie's like, no way. Then she packs her bag and says she's moving out. So she goes to Madison's house. Jake answers the door because Madison's been on the Fabulous again and has passed out. But Jake's like, it's okay, you can stay in the guest room. Then he tells Natalie that his relationship with Madison has gone to shit since she became addicted to Fabulous. I can't believe I keep saying this. And then they kiss. They take it to the bedroom. Remember, this is in Madison's house. Anyway, Natalie's like, I can't do this. When Jake leaves, she writes down what's just happened in her diary and forgets to take it with her when she leaves. So that's a fun read for Madison when she wakes up. The next day at school, Madison tells Jake about Natalie's diary and that it says she has a crush on Mr. Rexford. In chemistry class, Jake tells Natalie to be careful because Mr. Rexford had shagged both Cassie and Viv before they died.
Excuse me?
What the hell is going on at this school?
It's totally inappropriate.
It doesn't seem to put Natalie off, though. Ridiculous. While all that's going on, dead Cassie's mum goes to Natalie's house to apologise for shouting at her the other day. Natalie's not there because she's at school. I can only assume that Cassie's been dead so long that her mum's forgotten what time school is. Anyway, she ends up warning Natalie's mum about the cheerleading squad.
There is something not right about those girls.
Correctamundo.
Back at school, Natalie's realised she's lost her diary.
Oh no!
She has a full-on meltdown, and at cheer practice, she imagines everyone shouting in her face. Everyone at school's laughing at her, and that's because her diary has been released on social media. And oh no, whoever released it has added things to it.
She hooked up with Mr. Rexford in the classroom.
Oh dear. She grabs Gina and accuses her of doing it because she didn't get in the cheer squad, but Gina says it wasn't her. The cheerleaders are like, look, Natalie, your diary's a bit embarrassing, so you need to leave the cheer squad for the time being. So Natalie cries and moves back in with her mum. Things get even worse as Natalie and her mum are called into school for a meeting with the principal and Mr. Monroe. The principal's like, this isn't great, is it?
I didn't write those things. Somebody took my diary and changed it.
But Natalie's smug tone changes when the principal asks her about the threat made against recently deceased student Viv.
Yeah, but I didn't write that.
Ooh. It turns out Mr. Rexford has been suspended because it said in the diary that he'd been shagging Natalie, even though she's denying it. Natalie's like, you should be investigating Mr. Monroe.
And why is that?
He's the one who was sketchy close with an underage dead girl.
Sorry, she was my goddaughter. Her father was one of my best friends. He died of cancer. I promised that I would watch over her.
Now, although that's by no means proof that he wasn't shagging her, it's accepted around the table that he's telling the truth.
Whatever.
On their way out, Natalie and her mum see Mr. Rexford, and he stares at Natalie. When Natalie gets home, she gets a call from Jake saying, come quick, Madison's taken too many Fabulous. So Natalie sneaks out of her bedroom window and goes round to Madison's. When she gets there, Madison has woken up, and Natalie's like, I'm so sorry I kissed your boyfriend. And Madison's like, it's okay, you're better than me anyway. And you deserve Jake, and he deserves you too.
I need to know who took my diary.
Isn't it obvious? Rexford did everything. Rexford did all of this.
Madison's like, promise me that you'll stop him. I don't know why she's talking like she only has minutes to live, but whatever. That's what's happening. When she goes to bed, Jake's like, yeah, Mr. Rexford is the one selling the Fabulous. And Natalie's like, right, well, it all makes sense now.
We have to get him to confess to everything.
So it's off to Mr. Rexford's house, holding hands, because they're a couple now, apparently.
Really?
Yes.
This is shit. Meanwhile, Gina comes round to apologise to Natalie and see if she's okay. But when her mum goes to find her, she's not there. But she's left a note on her bed saying Madison has OD'd on Fabulous. Outside Mr. Rexford's house, Natalie and Jake are finalising the plan. Whenever Jake goes to buy Fabulous from Mr. Rexford, he makes him leave his phone in a bowl, so he won't be able to record his confession. So he's going to leave the door unlocked so Natalie can get in and record it on hers.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yes, this is shit. So Jake goes up to his door and tells Rexford that Madison's run out of Fabulous, and Natalie sneaks in after him, ready to record. Meanwhile, Natalie's mum and Jean have arrived at Madison's house. When they wake her up, she tells them that Natalie's gone to Mr. Rexford's house with Jake, so they're going there too.
You got my girlfriend addicted to Fabulous. It was all the girls. Is that why you killed them? Is that why you did it? Everybody knows you were hooking up with them.
Yeah, so what? Some of my students have a thing for me, okay?
So the girls like my pills. It's just a business, Jake.
Okay, so it wasn't Mr. Rexford who killed the students. He was just selling them drugs and shagging them. I'm sure he'll be back to work on Monday in that case. It's Jake who's the killer, but instead of killing Natalie, he decides to tie her up and explain everything to her first.
That never goes well.
So here's the deal. Jake was with Madison because her dad worked as a recruiter for USC, and he was going to get Jake a football scholarship. But Jake was banging Cassie on the side. Cassie then went mental and threatened to ruin Jake's life if he didn't leave Madison for her. So he injected Cassie with a high dose of liquid Fabulous to make it look like she overdosed.
And then Viv wanted shut up.
Yeah, so that time when Viv and Mr. Rexford were arguing, he told her that he never sold to Cassie, only to Jake. So he had to get rid of Viv too. As for Natalie, well, she's the main character, so he has to kill her.
Obviously.
He's going to make it look like an overdose by injecting her. But her mum and Gina arrive just in time. Then there's this fight. This is shit. At an unspecified time later, we find out that Natalie and Madison are still on the cheer squad. Gina's on it too now, and they're all like sisters, yeah. And I don't know how this came about, but Mr. Monroe, who Natalie's now calling Clive, is in a relationship with Natalie's mum and living at their house.
What?
Yes, and that's the end of the film. So until next time. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and please consider joining my Patreon. There's a link in the description. Thank you.